Buenas nachos. No, how do you say morning? Buenas nachos. So I thought I'd show you how I make my smoothies every morning. We bought this, I'll just start with what I use to make them. We bought this Vitamix blender in the fall, and I almost choked when I saw how much money they cost, like around $500, I can't remember. But maybe your blender will work as good, I don't know. But this one, it got amazing reviews, the Vitamix, and it does an amazing job of pulverizing everything I put in here. So the smoothies are very smooth. There's no lumps, 0 lumps, and it's probably one of the best things I ever bought because I literally use it every day. This is literally what I have every morning. And my basic formula is I start with a combination of, obviously you can do your own thing. I'm just going to share you what I do. I try and put as much vegetables in as I can. And you know, obviously I put fruit in it as well, and you need the fruit for taste. Like I would put all veggie in if it tasted good, but it doesn't. And if it doesn't taste good, you're not gonna, you know, drink it for very much. But I can honestly say I enjoy the taste of these veggie smoothies more than I ever did when I made fruit smoothies for years and years and years, many years, and these veggie smoothies taste better, which is shocking to me. But the taste, the more fruit you put in it, it's definitely going to taste better. And sorry to repeat myself, but I try and put in as many vegetables as I can. So for the benefit of your ignoramus husband, I thought I'd show you what kale looks like. Barry, this is kale. I mean, I don't know why I cut the stems off, but I do, which is probably a waste because it would, you know, there's probably a lot of nutrients in it. But kale is very cheap. I use just the leafy part. And the other thing I want to, you know, show you is how quick and easy it is to make these things, and the cleanup is minimal. It's just incredible, and it takes me 10 minutes in the morning to make my smoothie, including cleanup and prep and everything. But the one thing I do in advance of my work week is I pre-wash the kale. Chanel got this oxygenator thing. I clean the kale in here. Obviously, it's a little fancy way of cleaning kale, but Barry, this is what a lunch pail looks like. You know, there are people out there that work for a living. And Brizzy, by the way, these are my. This isn't planned. This just happens to be. These are my Kraft peanut butter cookies. They're amazing. Anyway, back to. So my basic thing is I always start with my base, a combination of spinach and kale, and you want to put the leafy kale and spinach in first, because otherwise the idea is like I want the weight of the, you know, the fruit and the vegetables to push down and collapse upon itself. Otherwise it'll all get stuck, and it does get stuck sometimes because, you know, I try and put as much of the you know, I don't know why I'm changing my order. I usually put in the spinach first. I thought I'd try something different, but so I usually buy the pre-washed baby spinach. Just save some time. And then I'll add the kale. Like I said, I try and put as much of the stuff in. And it's important not to jam it in, because... but anyways, that's quite a bit. I mean, my container's full already. And now I try and basically get in as much as I can without it, you know, jamming up. cucumber is also one of my staples. I usually add a cucumber in, and I usually put in like 3 or 4 Brussels sprouts. I'm down to my last 3 Brussels sprouts. That's kind of my base. That's kind of what I'm doing a lot of right now. And obviously now I'm going to start adding some fruit. You know, one little tip, Grizzy, is you need to add some frozen fruit in your smoothie, because if it's not cold, it doesn't taste good. And one thing to do is when you get some ripe bananas, is to chop them up and put them in a freezer bag, because I don't know. I like to I like putting bananas in, and freezing them's a good idea. This banana's not frozen, obviously, but I'm putting that in. I find that I don't always use kiwi, but I find when I use kiwi, it adds a great taste to the smoothie. I usually put, you know, at least 1 orange in, and if I have room, I'll put a banana in. But I'm starting to worry about room.
That's not a banana.
What?
That's not a banana. What is that?
What's not a banana?
You said you put a banana in, but you had the round thing in your hand.
Oh, an apple?
Yeah.
Did I call it an apple a banana?
Yes, you did.
I'm so nervous. If I have room, I would add this banana in, but
No.
or I would put this apple in, but I'm worried about space. So now I'm going to top it up with. I've been using pineapple a lot. Like the last couple of months, I usually add frozen pineapple. This is a tropical blend. It's got pineapple in it, but it's also got mango and papaya. As you can see, it's filled up pretty much to the top. I used to put some ginger in. I haven't put ginger in lately, but if you like the flavor of ginger, it's, you know, obviously good for you. Now you can start fooling around with, you know, some additives if you want, like I don't know, like I've got some flax oil that I sometimes put in. You know, now you just
Whoa.
My assistant, you know, I don't know why she's piping in. You know. Last thing, Grizzy, so obviously, you know, you need to add some liquid in here now. So you could just put in, I started off with coconut water. There's a lot of sugar in coconut water. Just water's fine. What I've been doing the last few months is a combination of sweet apple cider and water. And just for taste purposes, I mean, it adds a kind of a sweetness to it. So I've got, it's up to about here. That's I probably put a little bit too much in. And now I'm just gonna, you know, top it up with some water. And just gonna add some water to it. And you know, now it's up to about here. And now we're just gonna turn it on. This thing's really loud, by the way. I don't know if it makes sense to videotape this, but what you want to see is this thing collapsing down on itself and hopefully not get stuck. It does have a plunger if it gets stuck, but usually, I mean, I'm a bit of an artist, so usually this works. We'll see it go. See, it's loud, right? But I do this at, it's hard to believe, I do this at 4 in the morning, when Chanel doesn't wake up. Anyways, that's it. And I drink this whole thing in the morning. Well, I shouldn't say that. I share it with Chanel. I give her a small mug in the morning, and then I drink the rest. But that would probably do, 4 or 5 glasses at least. It's delicious. And I'm not saying that. It's delicious.